Hi, I'm Barbara Wesley, your host of Cibola Treasures, and we have in our studio today a real treasure. I want to welcome Carolyn Newton to Cibola Treasures. And
Thank you.
Carolyn, tell our audience what your role is with the Animal Care Center.
I am a board member, a volunteer, a whatever they need person.
Well, I consider you almost an assistant to Sherry. I mean, really, when I see all the things that you do, you know what's going on there almost every day.
They have a tough job. It's hard to know what goes on there every day. Every day is a new day. 20 dogs come in at one time. 50 cats go out one day. Next day you come in, you got 12 more cats in the room. They have such a tough job over there.
Well, we say tough, but let's identify some of those things that they're required to. Well, they could just, but they do it with such a heart and with such determination to do what is right. So let's talk about some of those things. They go out on calls.
They do. The calls can be quite interesting for them.
Let's identify some of that when we say interesting. Some of the things that happen when they go out on a call.
So for instance, if you go out on a call, they don't know what they're walking into. They could get a call about a dog bite and get to the house. It could be a very aggressive dog. It could be a very docile dog. It could be a kid provoke the dog. It could be, somebody step on the dog's foot. When you get the call, they get a call saying dog bite. So when they get there, who knows what they're going to face. And when they get there, they're so open-minded. I've watched one of the animal control officers just go in the gate fearless. I mean, she is an amazing young woman. She just walks in. The dogs sense that she's a calm person, and she had no incidents. I mean, the dog walked right up to her. She got to love on him, put a leash on him, and we took him into custody.
Okay, so but then there are some that are dangerous.
And there are. For instance, there has been some wild dogs running loose over by Valencia Village. Those calls are tough because they have to pull the dogs most of the time, and if you have to use a pole, it scares the dog even more, and it makes things very difficult.
So when they get them into the Animal Care Center, what's the first thing that happens?
The first thing that they do is they evaluate the dog or cat, and then they vaccinate them. So they are given their parvo distemper shots. The cats are given their feline shots just to make sure that there is no chance that they can get sick at the shelter.
But then they bathe them too, because many of them are tick infested.
They do. We have several different types of treatments for fleas and ticks. So if they come in with really bad covered, usually we give them a day to settle down before they bathe them and get used to what's going on, because it's very traumatic for the animals to go into the care center.
And usually they isolate those that they first bring in, don't they?
They do. They do not let them socialize with the other dogs, just to make sure that they're not sick for one. Evaluate their behavior to make sure they're going to get along with everybody. Because at the care center, they have play yards, so we try not to cage them all the time. They get several hours outside in this big, huge play yard, so we have to make sure the dogs are all going to get along with each other. Because nobody wants to see a dog fight. Nobody wants to get in the middle of a dog fight.
That's right. And then let's talk about the daily responsibilities that they have at the shelter. So what do they do first thing when they come in the morning?
The animal shelter, their very first chore in the morning is to take all the dogs outside and clean the kennels.
Now, what does that entail? We say clean. What does that entail?
I personally have not been there to help them do this part of it. They are brave souls. So they go in every morning, let the dogs out. Then they have to pick up all the dog water bowls, food dishes. One person will wash those while the other person is scooping poop. And then from there, they have to spray all the kennels down with the disinfectant, scrub them from top to bottom, and then they spray them out.
And we scrub, I mean from top to bottom.
Top to bottom.
Everything is scrubbed and cleaned.
Everything is scrubbed. Blankets are all removed, pillows and bedding are all washed, while the dogs are all in the play yard. So by afternoon time when it's time to bring them in, they've got clean water, fresh food, clean bedding, and a nice little home for the night.
Okay. And so then people walk in. So they have customers that are coming in during all this activity.
Which makes it difficult some days. When you have such a specific job you have to get done, when you have people come in, it takes away from their time with the animals, which is, it's good that we have people coming into the care center. We just need volunteers. It would be nice if we had somebody to sit up at the front and greet people, because right now we are down one animal control officer and the budget has been cut, so we will not get that animal control officer.
Okay, so we need a volunteer to go and answer the phone and take messages, and because some of the messages coming in are saying we need to send someone out, and that's another interruption during the day too, because now they're out on a call.
Yep.
And where did some of these calls take us?
Well, the city of Grants has their own animal care center, or own animal control officers, so we have 3. The village of Milan has 1 animal control officer, the county has 2, and then we get dogs from Laguna, which now has 2 animal control officers.
Okay, so the other thing that you're involved in is transporting.
Yes.
Now, you've been doing this for how many years?
Too many to count.
10, 15?
Since we've helped the animal care center since they were in the old facility, and we've really helped them since they've been in the new facility. So, and I don't know how long they've been at the new center because I've lost track.
It's been over 10 years.
Holy cow.
Yep, over 10 years. So let's talk about what you have to go through when you transport, because there are places that are no-kill sites, and then there are places that need dogs and cats because, for example, in Phoenix, they spay and neuter every single animal in their area, right?
Correct.
So they don't have puppies and kittens.
Right.
So they have places there for adopting the ones that we send.
Correct.
So there are other places like Colorado and Utah, and I think I can recall a trip someone made all the way to Oregon one year.
We haven't done an Oregon trip in a while. A very long time. It takes a special person to do that trip.
It does.
And it takes more than one person to do that trip.
Absolutely. Because you're having to drive all that distance, and you have to stop, and you have to feed, and you have to
make sure they go potty, water.
Yep, all of those things. So let's start out in the morning, the day of transport. What's the first thing you do?
First thing we do is pray to God the van is full of gas.
Okay.
So we try and prep for our transports a day ahead of time. We try to make sure we have to have pictures of every dog. We have to have all their vaccinations done. We have to have everything recorded. So we try and get all paperwork done the night before. We get there in the morning. You have to unload all the kennels. The city has a designated van for us that we use now. An animal control officer, Lily, drives for us, and I accompany her. So we get there 8 o'clock in the morning. First thing we do is make sure all of our paperwork is in order. Then we go and pray Chief has not fed anybody, because that makes a mess. And we load everybody up, which takes us about an hour and a half to make sure we have everybody accounted for, everybody's secured and safe. And then we head off on our 3-hour drive.
Okay. So the one place that's been consistent has been in the Phoenix area.
Right outside of Phoenix. So Puppy Love.
Okay. And so you don't drive all the way to Phoenix?
No, they meet us halfway.
Okay.
They meet us in Winslow, Arizona. 2 vans in the middle of a big old parking lot exchanging dogs is always a sight to see.
Well, it is. And I happened to go on a trip once.
Yep.
That was fun. But there were people coming up and wanting to, are these dogs
Free, yeah.
Free, right, because they wanted dogs. And so there are people coming by, and we could, in Winslow, we could probably find people that wanted them, but we have a place where they're going to go be loved and cared for.
Yes, and most of it is a foster home based program. Amazing people. They are lined up and waiting to take the puppies and dogs home when they get there. They have just recently been blessed with a facility, so now they'll be able to have dogs on site all the time. They have a small staff that cares for them day and night, and it's just, I'm so thankful that they got this place, because now they've been able to help take animals from our community a little more often.
Okay. So, what are you paid for this?
Knowing that the dogs are not being put down is payment enough.
Okay. So, but you've been doing this for years, and many times it's at your expense.
Until the city let us have the van, it was. Now it's not so bad. The city covers the gas on the transports, and we take care of the rest of it.
Okay. You know, when I started this, I said there was a treasure, and Carolyn Newton is truly a treasure, because what we need in our community, there are so many needs throughout the community, in addition to the Animal Care Center.
Correct.
And so if we all as a community got together and said, I'm going to do that, I'm going to stand up and I'm going to make a commitment, because you've made a commitment.
We've attempted to make a commitment.
But you have made a commitment, because it's gone on for years. And so your dedication to this is an example for all of us, that we need to be involved in our community, doing the things that are going to make a difference.
And for me, it's easy, because I love the animals, so I will do almost anything for them. So, you know, there's just got to be that one little niche that you really like visiting with the seniors at the senior center. There's always a need for that. The food pantry is always looking for volunteers. The outreach program, they've always got people coming in, and they need some help desperately over there too.
And then we've got Roberta's Place.
Yep.
And the list goes on and on and on. But if you can find the thing that you're really interested in, our community will be an example to the world about what a community united in giving back to the community where you reside. And you've done that.
And we have a lot of people that do that in our community.
We just need more. For example, we need a volunteer down at the Animal Care Center.
Yes. Now that things are starting to open up, the care center needs help answering phones. We usually had community service workers help us out. Right now that is on hold, so we have tons of weeds that need to be pulled at the care center. You know, sometimes just basic deep cleaning gets put to the side because we're so short-staffed. If calls come in, everything is cleaned, but sometimes that deep cleaning, that little extra that we need to do, doesn't get done. It gets pushed back a week. It does eventually get done, but it just takes us a good minute.
Right. So, Carolyn, first of all, I want to commend you for being a heroine.
I am not.
Yes, you are. And I want to commend you for setting an example for all of us, because you are a leader. You haven't been a leader by, you've got to do this and you have to do this. You've been a leader by example.
That's the only way you get it done.
Well, anyway, I want to thank you for all that you've done for our community, because you are a tremendous lady. You, I wish that there was more that we could be doing to make your life easier and to make things easier for the Animal Care Center. If you want to be something else we need board members for the Animal Care Center.
We do. To be a board member is quite simple. You can live in the county. You can live in Milan, Grants, Laguna. All you got to do is apply to be a board member online through the City of Grants website. We meet once a month. We plan fundraisers. We work on anything that the care center needs, toys, blankets, dog food treats for the animals. It's really quite simple. It's an easy way to help out. We meet for about an hour and a half once a month, and then we go from there.
Okay. Carolyn, thank you so much for coming up so early this morning and conveying this information to our community. And we need a crown, so we could crown you, you know, or seriously, to be honored. I mean, I consider it a privilege to see what you do and the examples you set. I consider it an honor to be part of what you're doing.
And it's not just me, it takes a whole team. So if the care center wasn't willing to help out, it wouldn't happen. If we didn't reach out and find people like Gwen with Puppy Love, and we have Res Dog Rescue that helps us out quite a bit, without everybody coming together and working as that team, we wouldn't get any of this done. It's truly a team effort, and it wouldn't work unless we could function as a team.
Right. And that's the key, isn't it?
It is.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for having us.
Oh, my pleasure. And thank you for tuning in to this segment of Cibola Treasures.